And we're recording now because clearly this is the beginning of the entire stream and nothing bad has happened over the past hour. Fantastic. Are we good? Because the gaming computer didn't have an issue the entire time. So from this perspective over here, we're good. It's just me coming to you guys. That was a trip and a half. Welcome to Behind the Scenes with the RNG Strategist. How are you guys doing? The rain is kind of loud. You're not wrong. That's because the audio levels are backwards again. Switch that to system, the other one to line in. Minimize. All right. Mic might be a little loud right now. It's kind of hard for me to tell because it reset all the damn settings when I rebooted the freaking computer. But I think we're good. Huzzah! Fucking troubleshooting on the fly. Screw it, we'll do it live. If we don't even get an issue with that camera anymore, if that works perfectly, then what our issue was, if we don't have any more problems, then what our issue was having the Elgato 60 Pro in at the same time as the capture card. Not saying that this is bad. This used to be my really good one when I had the even weaker capture system. Maybe something with the drivers makes them not want to work together, or perhaps putting it right between a gigantic graphics card and a quad capture card had a short or something going on. Maybe, perhaps. I don't know. I'm literally spitballing really dumb ideas because I don't understand how a capture card would cause the USB system to have issues. Because part of that boot up issue was the USB just kept dying. You're gonna need a third computer for just in case. I'm gonna look like some crazy fucking electronics hoarder if I do that. Oh, and what's this for? Oh, this is my other streaming computer for when I really need it. What? It's the other. It's necessary. On the bright side though, that didn't take too long to fix. This is why one should be well practiced in all the ways your computer can be broken so that you can fix it on the fly. Do we have someone making me blocks? We do not. Who is my block man? Are you block man? Make me more rock salt blocks, please. Thank you. Also, now I have a sub sandwich. Just get 15 PCs, duh, and like 100 screens. So funny thing. You make a joke about that, but because of the way the game capture card works, right? It treats itself as an always searching input, kind of like a monitor. When your computer detects a monitor, it extends a handshake normally. It's like, hey, is there something there? The monitor says yes. Your computer updates. You have two monitors. The thing is, the game capture card does that handshake correctly. So if, and I did this like yesterday just to screw around. If I take another cable and bring it from the graphics card and plug it straight into the game capture card, the game capture card will treat itself as a third screen. So I can make a third screen that only exists inside the virtual system of OBS. I can literally make it be like 1, 2, and then the third screen is inside OBS. Which is just fucking screenception for the sake of it, but I thought it was funny.
Feed me data, Oni-chan. Hello.
I don't know. I thought it was stupid and goofy. But ultimately, yes, I have played Hoi 4 La Resistance. I have done a run through as Portugal, which, well, at least I think it was Portugal. Yeah, I want to say it was Portugal, which was kind of moot because I had no clue what I was doing. That was my first run through. And I've done another run through as France, which did not go too well. My thought was, all right, I'll do France, but I'll do like commie France. Let's see what happens if I shift over and do communism on the Western front. Maybe we can get a thing going with Russia, and we're gonna save. But the problem is I didn't have historical focuses on, so every country was free to do what it wanted. Thank you so much for the sub. It's supposed to be reading that at some point. I don't know what I've done to it, so it doesn't read that. This does not look very outdoorsy, no. But, so I did Commie France, but the problem is England went with the black shirts, which meant that they're going fascist. So all of a sudden, I'm now having to hold off England. I helped Spain go commie, so that was good. Well, about as commie as could be. They ended up being like the Republican, and then they were doing the things with Russia, but then they finished that route and were like, no, we're not going to be commie at all. We're going to rebuke Russia. So all of a sudden, they went like democratic, which the game is coded for some reason for if they're democratic to join the Allies. But the Allies weren't the Allies because England never left the Allies. The Allies were a secondary fascist group. So they joined England in invading me. At the same time, the Axis, which was freaking Germany and Italy, invaded me. So England, Spain, Germany, and Italy all invaded me. They were all fascists, but they were two different teams. It was really annoying and stupid. And then Japan went its normal route and they invaded Russia from the east. At the same time, Germany was invading from the west, and Germany didn't have to worry about the Allies because the Allies were hating on me, which meant the Allies were at war versus Russia as well. So I made everybody lose. It just didn't work. Also, thank you so much for the gift subs, CJ, the insane gifter. You can core any occupied countries. I never got that far. I did, the one thing I did do, like on the way to doing that, was I was like, okay, I'll make all of my areas below France like me a bit. Like I increased their compliance. I did all the things to increase their compliance. I got to like 85 or 89% or some crap. And I did something that was like, they'll become yours. And I was like, yeah, let's make the land become mine. And then everyone in Asia said, no, go screw yourself. And what that did is that started a freaking timer, and they just all immediately started rebelling, and I was losing all that land. So I just let that land go because I wasn't gonna be able to fight them because I was having to fight the Axis and the Allies. My stream title and whatnot. Oh, what happened to my stream title? Did me doing that temporary stream on my phone change my stream title? I didn't change my stream title. It should say Dwarf Fortress. What does it say? I don't know if you were here for it, CJ, but we had a bit of the stream where I was on my cell phone because my computer shit itself. Dashboard, mobile stream, travel and outdoor. Why is that a thing? On the bright side, that means I can do a stream from my cell phone while I cook and burn my house down. No, Dwarf Fortress. Oh. Slaves to Armagh to Dwarf Fortress. It got rid of the old title, didn't it? Fuck, I have to go do the change then. The change. The change of... Oh, good. My doctor's taken by a mood. I just need everything happening at once all the time, always. Leatherworks. All right. He's moving. Mobile stream. Mobile stream. I just want the title of this stream, please. I want my old title. Copy. Paste. Update. It has been updated. Now my sub messages make sense, right? Hold on. Maybe. I'm in 19 different screens right now. Your sub message was this. Yes, this doesn't look very outdoorsy. I didn't understand what that was, admittedly, at the beginning. That's kind of like went over my head. Are we good? Do we have the right title? Can people hear me? Can people see me? Have I bumped my freaking camera enough times? It's not pointing at my head at all. Everyone loves my sweet, glorious face. I've been told that my sweet, glorious face will make babies stop crying. I don't even know what that means. That's some weird fucking mistranslated anime nonsense. Well, time to go mini break other people. Alrighty then. Thank you so much. Alright. So in the land of Dwarf Fortressing, did this man start? He has started, so we don't have to worry about him. Fantastic. I'm gonna move this keyboard over here, move the stream deck, move the mouse over a little bit, and bring the gaming keyboard back to be properly in front of me as we do this. There we go. And zoom out. What do we have, or what were we doing? We're building the blocks now to finish the roof. I remember this. At the same time, we have been digging down ever so slightly. I need rock salt blocks. I have them. Something is not right here. Or it said I filled it in already. If I filled that in, we would be good. Somehow it just looks wrong in my head. It just doesn't look right. That's 2. That's 2. Yeah, no, I think it's just because the green below just makes it look too big on the left. All right, and then just a quick scoutery do, because usually I am on by now, or I would have been on, but there's a time I was down. So what has happened to my game? We do have someone else on right now. Oh, goody, we have a couple. So I've hopefully the normal viewers know that I've fixed it. Where did I cause a cave-in, and how did I cause a cave-in? I was doing like one row at a time, right? I guess I wasn't. I didn't realize that this wasn't a thing. All right. This is supported and can be mined. This will cause a cave-in. This needs to be done, or can be done now. All right, we should be good. We should be good and fantastic. Fantastical dwarves doing fantastical things. All right, that triangle has not been done. We're needing to wait for that roof. This triangle is going to need to be done, and we have made... Test. Too loud. There we go. Enad Morulazram, Chief Doctor, has created Etvuth Zunek Sharula a frilly giant slug leather vest. She claims as an heirloom in the name of the family ancestor, some other dwarf. This is called Scandal Sour, the Impunity of Roots. Worth 6,960 dwarf bucks. This is a frilly giant slug leather vest. All crafts dwarfship is of the highest quality. It is decorated with giant slug leather and encircled with bands of giant slug leather. This object menaces with spikes of giant hamster bone. On the item is an image of Bald Hermit, the sleek Sanguaro rib crossbow, and Morian. That's a really, really boring thing she made. Can we all agree on this? Maybe if I build a ton of docks to keep supply from Spain to the Black Sea. All right, so what is Speedy Noob? What is inaccessible to the Speedy Noob? Speedy Noob's in the middle of the base, so whatever he's talking about is what is inaccessible, not him. So I'm less worried. Useful. I mean, it is useful, just if you're gonna have a mood, you know, maybe be slightly more useful. Impenetrable, or not impenetrable, but not indestructible, not inflammable leather vest is just that. It's a vest. It doesn't protect the arms or anything. It just protects torso. Would have been better if it was something bigger. Oh, and then just to check it. Because we didn't hear her noises earlier. Why are there no noises? Okay, I heard the noises that time. I didn't hear them last time, which is really weird. What I don't understand in the new Hoi 4, though, I'm still trying to get my mind around, is how the hell the Intel system's supposed to work? Or, like, how the new update to the Intel system isn't basically just a gigantic nerf to what everyone's Intel was before. So it used to be if you researched decryption and your decryption was higher than your opponent's encryption, you knew the information about their country. Now there's, like, varying levels of decryption, but I don't see any way to, like, you can grab the thing to increase your encryption, but it doesn't necessarily, like, you can't force it to 100. So you're always like, I don't know what the hell's going on here. Like, I feel like you just ultimately, they found a thing that the AI probably still uses behind the scenes, but now the players aren't allowed to use. That's the way I treat the new encryption system, is they basically nerfed every player and buffed the AI for no reason. Because there's no fucking way in hell that the game doesn't know what your numbers are with the new system, but somehow you don't know theirs. You only get 2 people unless you are the intelligence leader of your entire faction. Was that my phone? What was that noise? Aren't you on silent? How are you making a noise? I turned you on silent earlier. I don't know what happened with that. Maybe volume got turned on or something because of me streaming off of it. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the Intel system. So now you have to slowly waste civilian buildings to get like Army, civilian, Air Force, Navy Intel, so on and so forth. And then it's always like, oh, this is at 12%. You get 2 agents, tops. If you are the intelligence leader of your faction, you can get more, which is great, but that still only applies to 1 person. And then even then, most of the jobs your intel agents do aren't wholly worth it. It's like, oh, I send them there to kind of maybe learn more about their civilian infrastructure. What does that do me? Maybe I can learn a blueprint. Okay, I'm gonna waste half a year getting them to build into their location, another half a year to maybe get a blueprint or something kind of, and 3 months in they got caught. So now I got some agents to go undo the agent who was caught. Everyone's still level 1 because there's not enough time for anyone to get any experience. And oh great, so they did the thing, and the end result when I click on the enemy country to see what their intelligence is, it didn't change at all. Fantastic. The second part of the Intel system is the proper encryption decryption thing, where if you build up your decryption, you can decrypt your opponent's encryptions, your opponent's ciphers, and it gives you a passive permanent bonus when you're fighting them. Or you can give up this permanent passive bonus so that for 30 days you get like twice the effect when fighting them, but they reset their cipher and you have to start over again. So I just decrypt everyone and just leave it at passive. I see no reason to like try to bump it up. If you're at the weird point in your numbers where bumping it up like brings you from losing a combat to succeeding at a combat, the duration of the bonus is so effing short. It's 30 days. It's so short, you're not going to win anything. You're not going to win anything at all. And then afterwards, you've lost a passive bonus. So if you were already red, you're going to be more red afterwards. So that entire encryption system is pointless, is utterly pointless. You're not going to get anything done in 30 days. Or if you get something done, it's not going to help. Like, I don't understand the new intelligence system. Like, I understand how it works. I don't understand why they implemented it. It doesn't appear to add anything to the game. It just makes the game more obtuse and annoying, and you don't get good benefits out of it. It's just fucking stupid. No, it really isn't. I'm sorry. I hate to argue this point, but no, it really isn't. If you're a miner fighting a miner, then yes. But if you're Germany, if you're Russia, right? If you are Russia, I'm assuming this is like the big argument, is either going versus or with Germany. If you're Germany, you're probably not going to be needing it anyways. The pass will be enough to carry you because of their military infrastructure in Hoi 4. So generally it's, if you're in some weird situation where Germany needs to be pushing on someone else, Germany is not taking out Russia in 30 days. If Germany is red versus Russia, they're not going to win in 30 days. It's not happening. If you are Russia, maybe you can do a mad push on Germany in 30 days, but I don't think as Russia you're going to take out Germany in 30 days. So they just push you back and you lose anyways in terms of your soldiers. The big counter maybe you could say is Germany repelling a D-Day scenario where they repel a naval invasion, but then as long as you get another naval invasion in the amount of time it takes to decrypt, which is like over a year, the amount of time it takes to decrypt, they'll just do a naval invasion again. So you don't get the bonus back in time. Like it buys you time, but it never seems to do any significant portion. I don't understand it. 30 days is enough to take Paris. If Germany doesn't have green on Paris, or anyone else doesn't have green on Paris, that encryption is the least of their worries. You got Paris, you're going to lose it very soon thereafter. And even if that's what we're going with, that's the one thing in the entire game you use it for, is Germany fighting Paris. Or Italy. That's it. Even if I cede the ground on that, and I want to make it clear, I'm not completely, because I don't think in the long run, you're in a good position. If you need to do a decrypt on France, you're not in a good position for your game. But even if we go with, but it helps, it's good, fantastic. They added an entire mechanic to the game for Germany to invade France. It's called La Resistance, and the whole purpose of it is for France to get their dick punched in. Fantastic, 10 out of 10. I don't like that intel system. They need to tweak it. They need to tweak it or something, or they need to give me some numbers for it to make sense. The duration on the active is too long. I'd rather just keep the passive. And then your agents seem to do fuck all, as far as I'm aware. Even if they don't get caught, I send them to do the mission. What does the mission do for me? They're like, oh yeah, we did it, boss. Okay, what did you do? The mission. Yeah, but what did that get me? It got you the knowledge and the pride that we did our mission. You're fired. You're fucking fired. We need to get like 3 missions in to do anything useful with the agents. Is part of the problem. It takes too long, and you need like 3 or 4 missions to get anything done. I think you need to invade the civilian infrastructure or infiltrate it. But when you complete it, it gives you back your agents again. So you have to put them back out there to build again. You put them back out there to build, then you have them invade the civilian. And then if you have them invade the civilian, there's like a secondary tier where it's like now you can steal blueprints or some nonsense. And then after that, you can apply political pressure. And that does something. Maybe it costs some political power. And you've had to waste a lot of time to get this to work. Whereas if you're the opponent, you just have all your agents on prevent enemies from doing things to me. And you never have to worry about that. Literally no micro. Put your agents at home, say defend versus anyone doing shit, and anything the opponent does can never work. Good. Fantastic. Great strategies here. It's the weirdest thing. I don't understand. And these are 2 separate things. Like there's a tab for the encrypt decrypt thing, and there's a tab for the agent thing. And like I said, the encrypt decrypt thing, okay, but once you get passive, you're done. So it's like a race to start decrypting your opponent and then just never use the active. Because at that point, just everyone might as well decrypt everyone else. And you don't want to lose your encryption or your decryption. But the agents, I don't know. I've had a couple of goes with them. And I've never afterwards been like, yeah, I'm real glad I wasted time leveling these agents. Because every time, in order to get the agents to do the different things I'm talking about, you have to spend time in civilian factories building up your intelligence sector. So, like, just to infiltrate the civilian sector requires, I'll say, 90 days and 5 civilian factories. Then if you want to invade their army, it takes 90 days, 5 civilian factories. The Navy, 90 days, 5 civilian factories. Air Force, 90 days, 5 civilian factories. And you can't do these at the same time. So it takes all year, 9, 18, 27, 36, takes 360 days, assuming my estimate of 90 is correct. It could be 60, in which case it takes like 240 or some nonsense. Takes a chunk of a year doing nothing other than being permanently 5 civilian factories down for the ability to say, maybe I would like an agent to do a thing one day, kind of. It gives you no bonuses up to that point. Fantastic. It's a lot of effort. It is a lot of effort, in my opinion, for not much. The new national focuses I love. I love Spain, I love the France, I love the Portuguese national focuses. They're amazing. But the freebie fucking spy update thing they incorporated, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. If I hadn't made myself clear. I don't know. What's going to happen is, I'm calling it, in about 2 weeks, we're going to find out that somewhere in there is math that makes it work. There's math that makes it work, and the only way it's going to make it work is if it's basically broken math. Someone will release a video on the broken math, and then that will be like the meta thing to do. You'll use the spy system for one thing and one thing only. It's going to be the only thing you use spies for, and that's going to be it. There's not going to be different strategies. There's going to be one thing that's worth your time, because all of it just takes too much time. All of it takes too much time for not enough gain. But we will learn at some point that there is a point. But it won't be that major. Like I said, now when you're doing minor versus minor, if you're like, not Brazil, but we'll say Brazil fighting one of the countries next to it, 30 days is a big bonus. And it's a small country, in 30 days you can take a country out. So there's that. But my counter to that is that it still takes forever to decrypt. So you basically have to postpone your entire invasion by a half of a year to a full year just so you can invade one tiny little 2-county country. And then it takes too long. Like everything else in the game, my point being, everything in the game so far, every time they've done major updates, they've been increasing the pace of the game. They've added in ways to research faster from 180, 260 days down to like 80 days with your army, how they fight. So I'm forgetting the word right now. Not stockpiles. There's one for army, there's one for navy, there's one for air force. It's like the way you fight. It's like grand battle plan, things like this. Army strategies, I'll call them. I don't know. I can't remember the right time right now. They've been introducing things to make that faster. When they've introduced a lot of these new national focus trees, they've had a ton of variety. And then there's also a bunch of them that are half steps, where doctrines. Thank you. There's a bunch of half steps where they take 35 days. Normally it took 70. The original Hoi 4 thing, the timing for the game was every 70 days. You did your national focus and you got your timing in. So every 70 days, in terms like major political upgrades for everyone, it's like your political turns were every 70 days. They started adding in a bunch of national focuses that are 35. Look at France. If France decides to take the national focus where they help Spain during the Civil War, that takes 35 days. There are more choices than this. That's the first one that comes to my mind, though. They've been introducing more half-step ones. Basically, almost a little bit, but like doubling the update speed. So every political turn is now 35 days. And in the old style, full turns are 70 days. And then you have like the old France one, I think, or no, the Netherlands? The Netherlands one, where they improve their country's infrastructure. It takes 210 days to go through. So that's like a 3-turn one. So they started adding variability and speed to the national focuses. And then they introduced the spy thing. And everything is like 1/2 to 2/3 of a year. Like it's the exact opposite pacing that they've been building towards the entire time. Every update to this point was like making the game faster, making you be more involved more often in like little minor things. So, you know, like even though the pace of the Grand War is the same, you know, you're having to make decisions twice as fast. Even if they're only half as effective, you're having to constantly, it's more about adaptation and changing to what the game is doing. And then they introduce the new spies, and their timing is so fucking slow to get anything done. I kind of wonder why it wasn't just in the original Hearts of Iron 4 so that they could have sped it up by now. It's just really weird how long it takes. It is ridiculously weird how long and how like slow paced the espionage system is. When up to this point, their like mentality was speeding it up. Everything's more adaptive, so on and so forth. And now you got this new thing where if you didn't think you were going to be fighting that particular country 2 years ago, sorry, sucks to be you. You should have planned to fight that country as well. Great. I mean, hell, as a side thing to point this out, both against espionage and for the argument of increased pacing, they have the Spanish Civil War, which triggers like it used to at the beginning, which is, I'll say about a year. We'll say a year. About a year into the game, Spain will go into an almost scripted civil war versus essentially the Republicans versus the fascists. I think it's Republican Spain versus just Spain is what it's called, I think. But then about a year, if that long, we'll say 6 months into that civil war, they will split into two more civil wars within a civil wars, where Carlist Spain will separate from the fascists to become the monarchist Spain, I think. And the communist Spain, the Republican Spain, will split up into communist and democratic. So you end up with a four-way civil war within about a year and a half. So you have to know, or like you have to adapt if you're doing it and the fascists start losing, like let's say if you're doing fascist France or fascist Portugal or whatever, and you're supporting the fascist Spain because they're on your border as Portugal, if you're going to support them, but then you realize like they're kind of losing, but then they civil war again and the card list happens, you have to now update and maybe you want to back the card list instead. Maybe you want to back card list Spain. Like, you know, like you have to adapt to how that war breaks out. Fucking fantastic. I love it. Like basically makes everyone early in the game watch the Spanish Civil War, because you could lose, but you could also lose less badly if like, if you're Soviet Union, the communist Spain might not win, but you might still want the democratic Spain to win, you know, or at the very least the Carlist Spain, just anyone but I forget what the fascist Spain is now called. So like there's now degrees of winning in the Civil War. So now you might lose, but you might still show support for one of the people you would not necessarily have supported before, just as long as the side you don't want to win definitely doesn't win. But again, it still takes like over a year and a half just to get the freaking espionage system built in. Like in order to get to that, you have to build it for like 30 days and 5 civilians. Then you have to do the espionage system. Then you have to start espionaging in Spain if you want to be doing something in Spain. It's really weird and slow, and it doesn't make sense to me. Nationalists, anarchists pop up, communists don't. Low national. Yeah, okay. You get what I'm saying, though. Like, they split up into a four-way thing. And you have to adapt what you're doing to how that breaks the battle lines, which goes well with how they've been doing it before, where it's now about adaptation. And it's almost like an actual political game now, where maybe you're willing to make friends with a country you wouldn't have made friends with before the expansion, just because now there's differences in how things can break down. Okay, that's good. We're reacting. We're doing good things. And then the espionage system that they incorporated is the exact opposite. You might as well just decipher everyone's cipher as soon as you can. That's anywhere close to your country. And then just leave it on passive. You get a boost versus /in everyone. Fantastic. maybe if you're willing to waste a bunch of time and you get lucky, you can steal a research from them, which is what I think the blueprint system is. Okay, one whole research after a lot of time. Like, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling what I've seen so far with the spies. I'm just not feeling them. I like all the national focuses. I like all that. I like everything about that. And I like some of the new map features. I like a bunch of those. I don't like that espionage system. I'm just not feeling it. I could legit see it being an incorrectly trained strategy where if someone just plays against AI, that they just learn to ignore that system. And then maybe at some point a good player uses it like in their favor in PvP. That's basically what it is it's almost like a system that probably does a lot better in PvP than it does versus the AI. So I can see people like learning incorrectly to just ignore it if they play AI all the time, which is kind of weird. Like, you shouldn't really have a mechanic that's probably a lot better in PvP than it is PvE. Because the AI is the AI. I mean, AI is always going to be a weaker opponent than PvP, but you shouldn't introduce an entire mechanic that just doesn't work. Or at the very least, I feel like the AI would cheat on, because again, one of the things that used to happen is you could click on an opponent and it would say about how many factories they had, about how many soldiers they had. I have 160 civilian factories. Russia has somewhere between 140 and 270 factories. On the whole, I know they're stronger than me, but I don't know what the number is. Now you can click on them and it be like, oh, well, you know, you might not have a web or anything, so you don't know what they have. You think they have 0. And it's like, what? I know they don't have 0. Like, I could probably make rough estimates without the espionage system about where their factories lie, like what they got going on. And it's just like, no, sorry. If you don't do this, we're not going to tell you anything. Whereas conversely, you know damn well the AI knows exactly what factories you have and in what counties the factories are in. I have 763. Like, I just, like, they basically nerfed it. Because, like I said, you used to just be able to click on an opponent, and if you didn't have good decryption and or you weren't on their border, you got a really big spread. You had a rough idea. Because you had a rough idea of what they had. The only time you ever had a very specific number is when you knew you had beaten them so badly they had none. I.e., if you're America fighting, say, Japan, and you destroyed their navy, it could get to a point where the estimate was like between 1 and 6 boats left, and you blow them up and be like, they have no boats left. So even if you didn't have good, you knew, because there's no boats. You know because there's no boats. They just aren't there. But now the decryption system's like, well, you know, sorry, you didn't send an agent over there to study for 2 years. So the fact that there's nothing in the water whatsoever doesn't mean there's nothing in the water. They could be hiding them in their secret sky bases. Do they have secret sky bases? You don't know, because you didn't send a guy over there for 2 years specifically to study the Air Force as well. So for all you know, they've invented dragons, and they brought dragons from another world, and they're reverse isekaiing World War II. Now that I'm saying this would be a great fucking anime. Like, by the way, the elf hater Suloic, and the plant lover Stephen Robert 4 have married. Congratulations. Brew drink from Fruit Tin has been completed. Feel like those are 2 different alerts, but I'm going to read them together. It's just really goofy how there was information that used to be at the, you know, the tips of your fingertips, you know, like it was there. You didn't really have the details on it, but it was there. You could feel it. You knew if something was or was not there. And now it's just like, sorry, you didn't do enough bureaucracy. Now you don't know if there's a thing to poke. That doesn't make any sense. There are certain things you should not need intel for to get like a base number. Kind of like the bookkeeper. For anyone who doesn't know what the hell I'm talking about, the bookkeeper, when you get one, you can start making them do counts. So Like at the lowest level of bookkeeping, everything still gets rounded up to 5 digits. So 7777 would get rounded to 80. But before you had that, you still knew that you had alcohol. You know, it would just get rounded to like 100,000 or something like that. It would just get rounded to its largest digit. In the new system, if you don't have a bookkeeper at all, it literally says, I don't know what you have for alcohol. Do I have any at all? Oh, you don't know. People are getting dehydrated. Does that mean I don't have alcohol? Sorry, we haven't had anyone to go count. Nobody can tell me if we do or do not have alcohol. Sorry, unless you've specifically hired someone as a bookkeeper, we don't know if we have anything. We just blindly stumble around the food hall until alcohol does or does not fall down our gullet. We just don't know. We are physically that stupid. Like that's the simile. That's the metaphor I'm going with here for the change that they did to what you just know without the spies. Now they've made it so you know fucking nothing for no reason. But the spies themselves directly don't do that. You just need to invest in the spy system. It's really weird. They've made it like half required, but then also not need to do anything. I keep trying to, there we go. I keep hitting escape trying to back out so I can go down here, and I'm not actually going down there. All right, we're still making the rock salt blocks. Why are we not mining out this thing in the middle, I wonder? Also, we're getting cave spider silk up here? This is above ground. Why are we getting cave spider silk? I didn't know I could get cave spider silk above ground. That's amazing. I wonder if we got that when it was below ground and now it just happens to be exposed. That might be what's happening there. How far is that from the plot of Masutan? What is the plot of Masutan? Pretend like I don't know what you're talking about and give me some details. You were socializing. Oh, that's what it is. You're distracted because you're socializing, I guess. That's fine. Everyone belongs to that guild. That's a good and happy guild. Dragon pilot. I still don't know what you're talking about, dude. What is There are a lot of shows with dragon pilots. As stupid as that sounds. There are a lot of shows where people make friends with dragons and fly on dragons, and or they're a pilot in a mecha. So the mecha, they're called like the Dragon of the East Indies or something like that. And he's slightly more than dragon pilot. Is that a fantasy or is that a mech? Which in my head, I'm now separating from each other. Clearly mechs are not fantasy. They are true. They are nonfiction. I deserve one outside my window within a few weeks. Just a giant mech for me to get in and stomp around in for no reason. This one. Dragon pilot. I have... What the fuck? It's literally called Dragon Pilot. All right. When did that come out? I don't even think I've heard of this one. Now my studio bones. So the animation characters. It's the plot. There's a rookie in a Japanese air self-defense force where she's situated at the Gifu Air Base. She decides to join the force of Disney. Her whole life she had to find it difficult to speak and oftentimes her words despite that on making her decision leader to become life changing when the concealed OTF organic transformed flyer or dragon inside the base chooses her to be its pilot, leading her to discover her destiny role as a dragon pilot during her ascension in Skyscanner. According to legend, dragons are thought to possess a key to unlocking the future to the world. All right. One, I didn't know this existed. Two, that's almost kind of half like I would go with that's pretty good, except for I see the picture and that dragon is giving me nightmares. What is happening in that scene? That's some body horror nonsense. Why is the dragon turning into a plane? Why is the dragon turning into a plane? I don't understand. It hurts my head. Why is there it's a soft vor anime? What? I don't think I want to watch it then. Oh, the dragons are disguised as planes. And they go around eating people? I feel like this is not a show for children's. Like, oh, what was it that was on Netflix? I forget the name of their show is really called. I jokingly called it the Prostitute Reviewers. Netflix recently had a show on for this season of anime where they're like, oh, the show we're gonna license is the Prostitute Reviewers. The whole purpose of the show is the main characters go and screw the different fantasy races, and then they tell you how good or bad it is to screw the fantasy races. They went a couple episodes in, I guess, and then canceled. They canceled because, according to Netflix, it was too adult. And the reason why I think this is funny is because how I heard of it, which was basically everyone on the internet going, what did you think the show was? Ah, yes, a man of culture. Sort of, the pilot can only do anything from inside the dragon's gut. That is weird. That is really no. There are a few funny clips that I've seen on YouTube. I think I linked one of them in the Discord. If I didn't, I should have, because it was kind of funny. The clip on the YouTube was, I guess in one of the episodes, they're like reviewing dolls or golems or something. But at some point, the lady there talking, she's basically saying, just get whatever body parts you want, slap those babies together like it's a Lego man, and then put in a personality core. And then you just do whatever you want with this resulting golem. But the actual word was, like, the translation on the bottom was, all right, so pick the parts you want for your Build-A-Bitch. That's what it said. Like, it was Build-A-Bear. Pick the parts you want for your Build-A-Bitch, and then choose a personality core. But for some reason, Netflix did not know that the show was probably going to be adult-oriented, so they canceled it or something because they realized that the show was adult-oriented. But again, everyone who read the description for it was basically along the lines of, what did Netflix think the show was? Because they didn't hide this. We made fun of the show when we were reading/reviewing this season's anime descriptions. Like a couple months ago. We were all laughing about it because it sounded absurd and stupid. But apparently Netflix was the one that licensed it and then realized, oh, this is probably for adults. So they canceled it. Which is really weird. Because the funny thing is, they just canceled them bringing it over. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if Crunchyroll cancels a show, the show's not canceled. They're still making it in Japan. So what did this do? This just made everyone know about the show more. Like, it was like free advertisement. Because everyone on the internet made fun of it. So everyone who wasn't aware of it became aware of it. So then they just went to, like, the free translation sites. You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't get rid of the show at all. Netflix is just like, this shit's too adult for us. And everyone's like, this show's too adult for Netflix. What show is it? And shows Netflix like, that show about the prostitute reviewers. Kids shouldn't be watching this. Let's just tell all the kids about this show that they shouldn't be watching. Because if you're anybody at all who watches anime, you probably have, like, a free streaming site. Like, I do Crunchyroll, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. If Crunchyroll doesn't host a show, that's not gonna stop me watching a show. You get what I'm saying? Like, Crunchyroll just makes it easier and, like, more up-to-date to watch the show. But if it's not on Crunchyroll or Funimation, and it seems like a good show, I'm gonna find a way to go watch it. Anyone who streams any anime has a freebie site they go to. There's a free site somewhere that does this. So all Netflix did was draw more kids' attention to the show. Because they're like, this isn't for kids. Oh, please tell me the anime that's not for kids. Because we have no way to get this show otherwise. What morons? They should have just done it. They should have just done it and, like, got in the views at least. Like, Funimation should have, not Funimation, Netflix should have just brought in the views and the money. Like, I don't know what they did this for. Oh. Like I said, hold on. What is it? AnyChart? AnyChart. AnyChart is the thing we use. Let me turn back on the reds. Don't hide the red shows. In winter 2020. If I type in Control F reviewer. Fuck, it wasn't. Was it a Japanese name for reviewers? Oh, yeah. It's called Ishozoku Reviewers. The three things it says is ecchi fantasy comedy. This is what the description was. This is what somehow went over Netflix's head.
We'll do this. We'll do this with a little bit of... We need a proper thing. This is too complicated for Netflix to understand. Beauty truly is in the eye of the beholder. From elves to succubi to cyclopes and more, the Yuruno Gloss reviewers are here to rate the red light delights of all manner of monster girls. The only thing is, they can never agree on who's the hottest.
That was the description. Literally, somehow Netflix couldn't fucking translate that. Like, it didn't dawn on them what that meant. And one of the three categories is ecchi. It literally says there's a bunch of dudes who are rating red light districts, hence why I keep calling them prostitute reviewers. They're rating the different fantasy races in their red light district. And it's basically a softcore porn. And Netflix is like, we didn't know that this was gonna have adult content in this. We did not know that. We're gonna cancel this show. We're terribly sorry about that. We thought this was just for kids. Who in your fucking company read that description and was like, oh yeah, this is for little Jimmy. This is for little Jimmy 5-year-old. He's gonna watch Pokemon in the morning and fucking prostitute reviewers in the afternoon, of course. Idiots. This is the one with the position. I don't know what you're... Here's the thing, I don't know. I have seen clips on YouTube, but I'm not going to watch it because I already have enough stupid shit on my computer that I have to explain one day. I already have enough excuses with stupid shit like Vivid Red and fucking Comfer. All right, I already have enough stupid shit I have to explain away. If and when at some point, like, fucking government comes in and fucking steals my computer and shit and's like, we're gonna go see what you've been doing. I've already got to explain away stupid shows like that. I don't need shows that are expressly like, you are a degenerate. I don't need those shows. I don't need to explain those. YouTube's a different thing entirely. If I'm on an anime thing and YouTube recommends it as a related anime thing, that's YouTube's fault. That's the way I look at it. That's not my fault. That's YouTube's fault. I'm not a degenerate. Is this the anime you're talking about? What the fuck is this? What I just find on the anime? Yeah, there's a picture down below that looks about right. I don't know what that is. Yes, the third picture, the three people in the lower left corner I recognize from the one scene. Yeah, that's the show. That's the show. Ishoku Reviewers. I recognize the three characters from the scene on the thing. FBI come looking. I don't know you. You know this man? No, I do not. But yeah, no, if anyone wants maybe a very rough idea of what the hell I'm talking about and then wants to scrub their eyes with bleach afterwards, that is a screenshot from Twitter of someone wondering what the fuck they just discovered. Yeah, apparently they had an episode about egg laying. Fantastic. Like I said, I just thought it was funny. The thing I found it was like the title was like fucking they find a way to make the perfect girl or something, whatever the fuck the YouTube clickbait title was or something. And then, like I said, the translation at the bottom is "Welcome to Build a Bitch." And Netflix, Netflix, those fucking morons. We didn't know that there was an adult theme in this. It's prostitute reviewers. What kind of child-friendly prostitute reviewers do you know, Netflix? What the fuck? Utter morons. Utter morons. And like I said, they made such a big deal about getting rid of it. We're gonna disavow. It's not our fault. We're sorry. We're sorry about this. For all the kids who are watching this show. This is the dumbest way to handle it. Build a bitch. Build your bitch for your child. With some software. Yeah, apparently it translates to interspecies reviewers. Again, I'm sticking with I don't know. I don't know how they didn't see that coming. Oh no, this is too much for us. You're morons. You're morons of the highest order. Like, it kind of makes me wonder what their what Netflix's system is for choosing shows. You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes me wonder what they even do when they choose this shit if they didn't understand that that's what that show was. Like, do they even know if a show's doing good when they cancel it? Because sometimes they cancel good shows. Like, is it literally just they're that thick that they cancel a show and it's doing good because they just don't know anything about the world? No, but that cracked me up. This next season's gonna suck, though. I haven't done an on-air reading / review of the next season's descriptions, but I can tell you, as of now, we're on, like, what episode are we on? What episode in the season are we on airing? What the fuck happened? Oh, good. I was wondering when we'd find one of those caverns. I'm on airing like right now. This season, we're on like episode 21. No, I'm gonna say that's the second. We're on like episode 9. We're on episode 9 of this season. A season is 12 to 13 episodes long. So we're 3/4 the way through the season. So this is the time, right? This is the time for, like, all right, what's coming up? What are you gonna entice me with in the upcoming seasons? Spring shows 49. 49. Sometimes it has 140 shows in a season, and the season coming up has 49. It is depressingly empty. So we are going to have an issue with that. If I J down over here and then up there, and then dig that out to the west, I could build 3 walls and we'll be good. I have an idea. My idea is I'm going to build a wall here and then build a wall 1 in, and that wall should just also protect the stairwell. The only that's not an anime. Wish Bleach was on Netflix. Don't get me started. Don't get me started on that show. Build the wall. Please build the wall. But we have an idea now where the other cavern is. So let's see how expansive it is. Oh, look, it's very and annoying. How did I... Oh my god, look how narrowly I missed it earlier. Remember when we were trying to find a cave for, like, anything? Look how narrowly I missed this other cave. I, like, just threaded the needle past that, didn't I? Holy shit. But yeah, no, so Netflix canceled the show. And, I mean, I don't blame them. I don't blame them for not airing it. I feel like there's a lot of incompetence on the fact that they aired it and then how they stopped doing it. We'd like to put out a letter. We are terribly sorry, but we're canceling this show. It turns out this show has too much boobs and vagina in it. And all the kids who have been secretly watching it for the first 5 episodes, we're no longer going to be carrying it. Please tell your mother that you've been watching softcore porn. And also, you probably already know what type of site you can continue fighting this on. Like, this is just fucking weird. It doesn't make any sense. My first cat was just a bunch of water. What do you mean? Familia Myth is basically a harem anime. Is that the one with Hestia? Because I will half, but not really agree with you. Is Familia Myth the one where the main character, I forget his name, but he belongs to the Familia Hestia? Yes. All right. I will half agree with you. I will, in fact, half agree with you. However, this is where I will disagree. I feel like if a show is something like it's like a proper harem anime or something like that, then what it is it's designed to bring that to the person. Whereas I feel like in Familia Myth, it's not so much a harem anime as much as Hestia is just a goofy, tiny, big-titted lady. She's just a tiny, goofy, big-titted lady. Like, if you took Hestia out of it and everything she ends up doing, it would just play like a regular fucking show. It really would. Like, the main character is the grandson/son of Zeus. That's not really like a big fucking departure from norm. That's just myth. That's what Zeus did. He went around, he turned into a swan, he boinked people's wives, and then he fled so that they could give birth to swan babies who would become beautiful creatures that would somehow get punished when Hera got jealous. That's just how it worked. I feel like that's basically not a harem anime so much as it just is an anime that draws from mythology. Now, where I agree with you is everything freaking Hestia touches becomes unnecessarily filled with like sexual tension, because she can't just be like, oh, I'm going to do what we need. I'm going to do the thing where we live in this building. She's gonna be like, oh, for some reason, I'm just gonna go, I'm gonna have you wake up with me laying on you with just tickle bitties everywhere for no reason. Fucking anti-gravity titties held up by the mystical plot thread. No. Here's the thing. So you're saying like Freya. I don't think Freya does. So it's not that Freya wants his dick for what you're going with in that particular case. Freya is basically to stand in for Aphrodite. Like, they changed out some of the deities. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of them aren't, because Freya is not in, you know what I'm saying? So if you take what she's supposed to be, you have the divine prostitute. You have one of the deities, half wise, half freaking pornish divine prostitute, who recognizes that this kid has divine power in him. I don't think she so much as wants his dick as she literally wants his seed. Like, in a purely I need power way, this kid has the blood of gods flowing through him. She doesn't want his dick, she wants his seed. That's a difference. That's a difference, though. Like, the dick is a means to an end. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's just normal frickin' myth type shit. It's not like harem. Oh, I see. Big difference. It is, oh, this is what I'm trying to say. One is purely scientific. Huge difference. Huge difference. The difference being if she could hire someone to cut his ball sack off and fucking just steal sperm, she probably would. That's the difference. Okay, so Loki Familia, again, I think that's just power. And the Loki Familia, that's the one where, are they the ones trying to fight him and kidnap him, or is that the other one? No, that's the redhead one, isn't it? I'm trying to remember some of the characters. So, Tavern Girl does have an infatuation with him, I'll give you that. Girl that carries a shit, I feel like that's more of a sibling thing, because he protected her. Also, I'm over my timer for a break. But yeah, no, I'm not saying that it's not there. However, it's more like an Odyssey type story. You don't call an Odyssey a freaking, Odyssey's not a harem. Odyssey is not a harem story. But there's a lot of points in the Odyssey where the men get down. You know what I'm saying? Like it just happens. If you're drawing from that mythology, you're going to have a lot of those type of events. If you're going to reference those type of people, you're going to have the whole thing. You get the whole bag. Except for Hestia. A lot of the shit where they do it unnecessarily over the top and they don't follow necessary myth stories is basically everything that involves Hestia. Honestly, it's a bunch of dudes in a boat. Yeah, you can make the symbol as a joke all you want, but every time that boat lands, they fuck anything that moves into submission. Like half of their problems in the Odyssey comes because the men couldn't keep their penises to themselves when that boat stopped. All that boat was doing was saving the world from the people on the Odyssey. That is all that boat was doing. It was saving the world. But no, so a lot of that like I would not qualify as like harem because it's not. If you're going to do something that's based upon mythology, in particular anything involving Greek or Roman, there's going to be fucking people wanting dick. There's going to be men wanting to give dick. There's going to be women wanting to take dick. This is like half built into anything involving Greek and Roman mythology is the mythology of the dick. Whereas like the core idea of a harem anime is like the power fulfillment fantasy of, oh, I'm watching this show because this show's main character for some reason has like 6 different types of chicks who basically it's like the sexual version of a Mary Sue. The man doesn't deserve a damn thing, but for some reason, everyone in the show just wants his dick for like no reason. Literally could be unrelated to anything, they just want it. No reason wanting of dickings is harem. Greek mythology is like a core baked in thing where the dickings is holy. There's a reason behind the dickings in Greek mythology. Because remember, they thought that shit had power in it. If you look into the mythology of, what's his name? Big strong man, Hercules. Hercules. Part of the myth for Hercules, why he is so strong, is not that Zeus is his dad. Zeus had many children, but only Hercules was that strong. That's because, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know this part of the story, Zeus liked that chick so much, he fucked her straight for 3 days and 3 nights. For some reason, they thought that there was a female version of sperm, like as a goo, and a male version of sperm. And the more you put together, the stronger the baby was. So the reason why Hercules is so strong is not that Zeus is his dad, is that Zeus fucking just pounded this chick for 3 days to sexual ecstasy and just filled her with gallons of god cum. And then that is why Hercules is so strong, is he's super dense god cum. That is why Hercules is strong. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's literally built into the myth. You cannot do anything involving Greek mythology without dickings being involved because they were weird. They were weird like that. So some of it, you can't necessarily, anything that involves Greek, you can't necessarily automatically attribute all traits to harem. Some of it has to be attributed to you're drawing from Greek mythology. That's just how things are. They couldn't keep their penises themselves when the boat was moving either. It's a Greek story. All anime protags are Mary Sue's, amnesiac Mary Sue's. Sounds like solid logic. She had twins from different dads too. Yeah. Like I said, they had weird things that happened in that. But now that we have talked about something that's probably, if I ever get my YouTube channel monetized on the archive channel, now that we've gone a bit into what's going to definitely get us demonetized, I'm going to take a YouTube break. So for everyone on YouTube, see you guys next time.